Okay, kids, what time is it?
Let's do it.
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
In my face. I don't want to get up, face the human race. I take a shower, I take a pee, I drink some coffee, watch some TV. But nothing seems to keep my eyes open. Nothing seems to get my blood flowing. Called up a friend of mine and asked what lights a fire under your behind. He says he spells relief, R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the game's all is, so clean out your ears for the morning disaster. They got gas and brass and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature and there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite podcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. I took my friend's advice to heart. I bought myself an FM radio. Now every weekday starts with a visit from the Morning Disaster Show. And now I spell relief, R-A-Y-L-Y-T-L-E. Have no fear, the gang's all here, so clean out your ears for the Morning Disaster. They got gas and breast and testes and rock and roll piled up to the rafters. They're really immature, but there's no cure, but they'll be your favorite podcasters. And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. And it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.
Oh, yes. We are here on a Monday morning. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the program. It is Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. I am Ray, along with Nicholas. How are you, young Nick?
Hi.
And also,
I'm good. How are you?
I see Doran is in the hizzy.
Good morning.
That's a slang for house. For those who don't know. Yeah, we are here. Rocky, be popping in soon. We got a full show today. I'm ready I'm ready to start entertaining again. I hate the weekends. I hate the weekends when there's no show. I caught your about time. No, I hate the weekends when there's no show. I like the days when we have a show more than the days when we don't. It's probably a good sign. You know? Unlike when I was working in real radio, I hated the days we had the show, and I longed for the days when there was no show, which was probably, a signal for something. But today, I just long for the show days. I almost dislike the weekends because, there's no sports on. All I do in the weekend is eat, and I feel lousy because I'm eating so much. I like to, I want to get back to, doing something fun. For me, broadcasting is fun. What are you outside, Doran? I'm hearing all the birds.
Yes, I'm outside.
Look at that. Are you?
It's nice and cool out.
It's cool. It's a change
nice.
It's a change from 90 some odd degrees. Which is what we've been having outside. So you're hanging out outside. I'm putting air cam so we can see you. Is the skies blue? Are the skies blue or are they overcast again? Or let's look at that. It's blue. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, there's a little bit. It's really blue in the west. We've got a little bit of an overcast in the east, but I think it's going to burn off. Wow. It'll be nice. It'll be nice out today.
You've got
unlike this weekend, it was horrible.
You've got a blue sky behind you, and I see you got big sunglasses on.
Oh, my allergies are killing me, so my eyes are a little. So
No, you
a
look
little
fine.
James
No,
Joplin thing going on.
you look fine. You look fine. You got the blue skies. It's looking really good.
Yeah.
I like it. No Nikki today, guys. She sent me a
Aw, she
message
okay?
this morning saying, hold on, let me read it. She said, I think it's lies, but she said, she goes, I'm having breathing problems, lots of coughing. It's a COPD day. I need to nebulize. Okay.
Aw.
And then I said, I wrote back sissy. And she goes, because I'm sick, okay. And then I said, no, you're probably hungover.
You think she partied this weekend?
I do. I think she partied too hard. I think she probably.
Well, I hope she's not smoking again.
Yeah, I think she was smoking blunts.
Oh, God.
The blunt's the one where you take like a big cigar, right? And they put the pot in the cigar.
That's right. You take the little, what are those called? Little blackened something. I don't know. Swisher Sweets or something. You take all the tobacco out of them and roll up the blunts with the paper.
That's what I think she was doing. I think she was smoking blunts. She said she could say she's not, but I won't believe it unless I see it. I think she was smoking blunts, and that's what's really going on with her.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think's going on. Or else maybe she hooked up with some new guy or something. I don't know. You never know with Nikki. Maybe she's,
Never know.
She might
Makes
not
for a
even.
good story always.
She might not even be home. She might be She might have woken up at some stranger's house, and might be driving home and needing an excuse for why she's not going to be on with us. For all I know, that could be what's really going on.
Just woke up some random place.
Yeah. So I don't believe it.
I don't miss those days.
You, was that common for you at some point in your life?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
When you
a few
would
years ago.
when you would wake up not sure. Our lives were sure fun. Our lives were so much fun before kids, weren't they?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, weren't they?
I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm pretty sure my son saved my life, but yeah.
I do remember back when I was living in Texas, where you'd wake up and you weren't sure where you were, And I don't mean, I'm just saying you in general, not specifically either of the two people talking to me. I'm saying you wake up and you're in an apartment complex, but you're not sure how you got there. And somehow you have to get
exactly where you are, right?
Yeah, and I would have to this is usually like a Friday morning for me.
Your life turned into a Talking Heads song.
Yeah, but before I met my wife, we go out on Thursday nights, and I would have to find the radio station from whatever place that I woke up at, and it was always an interesting, You know what I'm talking about. You got to try to.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Even in that, like nowadays, if you were to do that, you could just get on your phone and find your location, see where you're at. Yeah, but back then, it's like you'd wake up and I'd have to go outside and get my bearings and figure out exactly where.
What side of town is this on?
I need to find a street sign.
This is before GPS. I'd imagine. People,
I know. Yeah. Exactly.
I imagine, and if you're living with this now, if you're living through this now, and by the way, if you're living through this, oh my God, enjoy it as long as you can. But I'm saying that now you'd have GPS and all this and Google Maps or whatever to get you around. Mm-hmm. But back when I was young, there was none of that. There was
no.
There was no.
Like I said, I had to look around outside, see if I found familiar cars in the parking lot, and then if I couldn't find a familiar car, I would roam around, doing the walk of shame down the street, trying to find a street sign.
There was no internet, no cell phones. For me, I had none of that. Literally.
Right.
I was living in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I didn't grow up there. I grew up in Illinois. I grew up in Gillespie. So I'm living in this town of whatever Corpus Christi's got, I think at the time, maybe 500,000 or whatever. I wake up, I knew I was probably on the west side because that's what most of the apartments around the west side are out in the Gulf.
Okay.
So I knew the thing with Corpus is if I could find SPID, which was the main thoroughfare, if I could find that, then I could find my work because, it was literally right off that, and I'm on the extreme north side. So that would be the treat for me, was to get out and find the highway so I could get to work. But a lot of times I would have no idea.
That was a treat?
Well, that was the fun, and the whole thing is I got to do it at 4:30 in the morning.
Let's play a game. Where am I?
Well, I'm thinking back now, like, how the hell did I wake up? Because I'd go out on a Thursday, and I don't think I didn't have a watch or anything that had an alarm on it, but somehow I always seemed to wake up after staying at some stranger's house, and then you've got to wake up and get to the radio station in time to start doing a show. It was crazy. It was a crazy night. And
good time.
You get out there and you find the highway, and eventually sometimes I'd have to pull over the side of the road, and I'd have to call my house where my roommate Joel, and you guys see Joel pops into the chat room. For those of you who watch the show, you'll see a guy named Joel Hilliard pop in from time to time. That's my old roommate. So I would have to call him at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and say, dude, could you tell me where I am? And he'd be like, what the hell are you, what are y'all doing? And I'd be like, dude, I'm on some street. And I would give the name of the street, and he would go, ugh, okay, head. He'd say northwest, south, northwest, east, or south. And I'd be like, which way is that? He'd go, oh my God. And he would go head west. And I would, or make a right. That's how I would find the SPID in order to get over to the radio station. So,
what is SPID? Is it just the name of a road?
South,
is it abbreviation
no,
for something?
It's South Padre Island Drive. But listen, I got to be pretty good at it. In fact, right now I'm convinced. I haven't been there in it's probably been, I don't know. Might be 5-7 years or whatever that I've been there. And my wife grew up there. So, but I'm pretty sure if I was there today, I could find my way around again. Because I got to be pretty good at,
navigating when you're lost.
Finding my way around there. I was pretty good. So I'm pretty sure I can land today and be and drive around fine. Like, ask yourself, how many cities can you go to where you could drive and know your way around? Like, I'm pretty sure if I went back to my hometown of Gillespie, I could find my way around any of those small towns, because literally the towns are only blocks long. But I'm saying I'm good in Springfield. If I go to Peoria, I'm pretty good. If I go to Chicago, because I was born in Chicago, but my grandparents and stuff lived there. Our family, I could pretty much find my way around Chicago.
I'm completely lost in Chicago.
Really?
There's something with the, oh my gosh, there's something with the high buildings or something. I lose my sense of direction. I don't know what it is, but I'm good in St. Louis, though. Maybe because I'm just more familiar with it.
See, I wish I knew St. Louis better. I probably should have.
St. Louis, I know like the back of my hand almost.
Yeah.
Nick, you can find your way around St. Louis?
Mm-hmm.
I do. I get lost sometimes
we go there
in St. Louis.
We go there for shows all the time. I've learned my way around.
One time I went to St. Louis to pick my wife up from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped off at a Krispy Kreme donut and ended up almost in a riot. So it was when
that sounds about right.
It was when the Michael Brown shooting had just happened.
Yeah, one wrong exit around 270 and 170, and even 70 for that matter. That whole little area, one wrong exit, and it could go south in a hurry.
Well, I ended up in Florissant or Ferguson or whatever the hell, wherever all that stuff was, and I was like, "Oh crap! I had no idea. I didn't know what was going on." And I was like, "Oh, this is just because I wanted a Krispy Kreme. Now we're gonna be in the middle of a riot."
That's what you get.
It's crazy.
Donuts get you in trouble again.
Oh, those donuts are good. I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna lie. I can. Oh, what I would give for a Krispy Kreme right now. Oh, by the way, Friday there was free Krispy Kremes.
Really?
Yeah, it was some sort of national. It was some sort of National Donut Day, and they were giving away a dozen donuts.
Oh my goodness!
I
didn't know about that.
I didn't go.
I'm very proud of you.
Well, I'm very upset. I missed
I'm
free donuts. I missed free donuts. What,
oh, you survived. It's fine.
Come on, you know you want a donut. You want a donut. You want one.
Do not. No.
Nick, you want a donut?
I definitely want a donut.
I
you know a guy?
Yeah. Yeah, I know a guy. He wears an apron. He wears an apron. He cooks up some donuts. Yeah, I could use some. Oh man, I gotta get back to eating right. I ate bad this weekend.
I ate bad this weekend too, and I'm feeling it.
What's bad for you though? Like, what did you eat? I'll tell you if it's bad. You tell me what you ate.
Let's see. I had fried chicken.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean that's bad.
I don't normally eat like greasy stuff, so I kind of paid for it. Then my mom and I had a lunch date, and we went to a place in Litchfield.
I'm glad you guys are talking again.
Yes, we are.
All right.
And she got over it. So we had dessert.
Yes.
And I had strawberry cheesecake.
Oh, strawberries.
Strawberry cheesecake. And then I brought home something called Chocolate Delight. I brought it home for my son, and I think he might have gotten one bite of it. It's got like a crumbling crust, and then whipped cream, and then chocolate pudding, and then chocolate mousse, and then more whipped cream with sprinkles.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. I know. And I'm feeling it.
In the chat room, Jeff is saying he's letting you know you had to buy a dozen to get a free dozen. Well, that's 2 dozen. I'm fine with that.
Buy one, get one.
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with that?
Oh.
Have you ever?
So what did you eat that was so terrible? You said you ate like Darbo this weekend. What did you eat?
I just ate too much of everything. I had like last night my wife and I were talking about mashed potatoes. For some reason we were like, just got a discussion about mashed potatoes. Yeah. And I don't even know how we got started, but we were talking about mashed potatoes, and then she decided to make mashed potatoes last night.
Oh, I love potatoes.
And they were so good. I wanted to get like seconds of just mashed potatoes, but they were so good. And then she got some corn on the cob.
Oh, we had sweet corn last night.
Oh, it was so good.
Amazing. Sweet corn's ready.
Yeah.
So good.
So I had sweet corn and mashed potatoes, and I had
so you had a little starch with your starch.
Oh, and I had a soda last night.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't diet. I had a regular. I was like on a sugar high, a sugar drunk.
It's like eating a candy bar if you're not used to it.
It was like it was canned heaven. Is what I had. carbonated heaven. So that's what I had, and then I had she took chicken thighs and cut them into strips, cut it off the bone and cut them into strips, and then fried them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds amazing.
Wonderful. It was a great meal. That was my dinner last night. And that was just one of the many great meals I had. So I got to stop eating all week. I don't think I'll eat again until next Saturday.
Oh, for crying out loud. You know that's not true. That's just ridiculous.
Unless someone walks in with a donut, then I will have some. But I'll tell you, hey, there was a big shooting in Peoria. Did you guys hear about this?
I did. Have you watched any of the video footage?
No, I know it's out there. I haven't seen any of it.
Oh my gosh, it's horrifying. I mean, it's just people everywhere, and people were throwing like bricks of like firecrackers.
It was like
And so
4
they
o'clock
broke
in the
firecrackers,
morning?
and then they were kind of masking the gunshots with the firecrackers. It was crazy. Yeah, 12 people got shot.
It happened at 4 o'clock in the morning or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Exactly. Yeah. 200. They said 200 people gathered, and it's like, what the hell?
Why are there 200 people hanging out at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, nothing good happens after the 10 o'clock news.
They all woke
You're
up
not
not
learning
knowing where they
anything.
were.
Well, let me tell you something. I hope they were wearing masks.
Some of them were. Did you believe that? Some of them actually were. You've got to watch the video.
So you're saying the people involved in the shooting, some were actually wearing masks. Well, that's good.
Yes, some of them were actually wearing masks. I don't know if it was, to protect against the COVID. It might have been just like, you can't see half my face. That might have been the reasoning behind it.
Listen, it just shows they're more worried about the COVID than the gunfire, I guess. Oh,
I guess so. And this one girl kept screaming, "This is crazy! Y'all are crazy!" I was like, "Bitch, go home."
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
It's crazy. It's 4 in the morning.
I just, who in the hell? I remember when in Springfield they had this thing. There was there was a street something going. There was something going on the street. There was a street party that popped up, and the party started. It was on the east side, where there were police involved or something, and the party didn't get started until 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was over there off of it was somewhere around like 15th and I can't remember the street, but it was on the east side, and the party got started, and I'm like, who in the hell is starting a party?
Or when the bars close. We used to have after hours parties.
3:30 in the morning or whatever time it was. And I'm like, good Lord. I remember we had a few at my apartment, okay, after the bars closed. And when I was in, I'll go back to Texas again. When I was in Texas, the bars would close 1 o'clock or, whatever time. So we would have a party at my house at like 1:30 in the morning. Okay. So we would go there, and we would invite a handful of people. But good Lord, these people are.
Yeah, we would do the same thing. It would just be like a handful of us, and normally it was industry people. I mean, those of us that were bartenders or servers or something like that, because we have to stay straight to work all night, and then our time to cut loose and have fun is after everything is closed.
Yeah, but it's just a handful of people at a house. You weren't inviting like hundreds of people out in the street.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just sent you the link to the video.
Oh, this is the Peoria shooting video. Hold on, let's see some.
And there's just people everywhere.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Sweet mask.
What is?
You're right here.
What are you doing out at 4 o'clock in the morning?
And there's just random people everywhere and cars everywhere and everyone's yelling. It's like, what was even the purpose of the gathering? Is anybody? I have no idea.
And it's down on the riverfront?
It's on Water Street. It was on Water and something. That was the actual location. It was not. So it was right down on the riverfront.
So there's a bunch of cars. They all gather around. There's just people walking around. And then is there shooting that's going to happen, or what's going to?
Yeah, you can actually hear the gunfire.
Really? You can actually? Let me turn the volume up. Turn the volume.
I don't know if it's exactly this clip, but
oh wow! Yeah.
There's the fireworks, smash sound, and then you hear the gunshots after.
So somebody lit fireworks, so you couldn't hear the actual gunfire.
Right.
Look at Israel. This dumbass shit. This some dumbass shit.
I said, go home.
Look at this shit.
What? Why are you out there? Go home.
That's what I said. Go home. If you think it's some dumbass shit, get your ass in the car.
Why are you out there?
Exactly.
Oh, that's guns, Yeah, and so they ended up shooting like, they shot like, 13, 14 people got shot in Peoria?
Yeah, they said 13 people were injured.
Oh my
So I'm not sure if
God.
anyone died or not, but I haven't heard anything further.
I
But yeah, it's just crazy.
wow.
Yep.
That's nuts. And that was in Peoria on Saturday night. You're right though, Doran. I got to tell you, I was watching it. There's a lot of people wearing masks. There were people out partying.
Yeah.
Wearing
But
masks.
the thing of it is, it's like, and you know it's going to go south. Anything that starts at 4 a.m, and there's that many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, in the time of, and there's COVID going around, you can get shot and get COVID, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure that now is the time to be drinking and partying and all this carrying on. I got to be honest. I'm not sure if we're responsible enough for all this stuff.
I know, we had a really good block party down here in my little town. And we went up there to listen just to the live music. And we stayed to ourselves, stayed away from people. You know, people were kind of like, when they were sitting, they were just sitting with their families. But there were people out on the dance floor and everything else. And yeah, they had some vendors, some food vendors there. And it was nice. But, you know, I was still a little nervous. I'm not going to lie.
But there was still some social distancing going on.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, people are staying in little clumps, you know, in their families, and they'd talk to people. They were staying, you know, there was no hugging, there was none of that, at least from what I saw. But it was nice to hear some live music and to like get out, though. I mean, it was, even though, you know, you just kind of stayed to yourself, it's still kind of nice to socially interact on a certain level.
Listener Tyler is in the chat room saying no one was killed in that shooting, right? Yeah, I don't think anybody was killed, right?
13 injured is all it said. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was killed. So I guess there is one, you know, I guess there's one good thing. And then you had it was in your neighborhood, they had that party?
Yeah, we had a block party. It started at noon on Saturday, and it was really cool. It was just like we used to have a homecoming celebration in July down here years ago. We'd have a carnival and all of that, you know, just like all the other little small town festivals. And so they kind of like, they did like a tractor pull, like a little kid pedal tractor pull. They had a beanbag bags competition. They had a laser tag set up. They had a pet parade where you dressed your dog or your pets up and had a little parade and pie eating contest.
I know you hillbillies love your gatherings.
Well, we had a doubleheader on Saturday, so we didn't go up until it was after dark and it had cooled off, and we just wanted to go listen to some music. So
well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah,
I would be a little bit better with that than going into some really indoors to some tight bar with a bunch of people that are sweating and, you know.
Right.
If I were playing, I would not be out. I'll tell you that. I would not be doing a gig. I'll tell you.
Oh, it's so hot. Whew.
I mean, more power to the people that are.
Right.
But I would not be. Like, if my band was still together, I would not play during this stuff.
Well, the guitar player, he kept putting like talcum powder like on his hands just trying to play because he was so sweaty.
But
he kept powdering his hands up. Like,
I remember when I played, it was before the smoking ban. Before I played, you know, I played before and after the smoking ban. And I just remember going home before the smoking ban, and I would sneeze the next morning, okay? And I would go to sneeze and literally pull the tissue away from my mouth after I sneezed, and it would just be black, you know, or I'm, you know,
like brown phlegm just from
from the smoking.
Yeah, or blowing your nose after breathing in the smoke. It's just horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. I remember before the smoking ban, when I was working at a club, I would have to come home and just shower because you just reeked. It was in your hair, it was in your skin, and you would never take your good coat in the wintertime. You would just freeze to and from your car because you don't want everything smelling like that and bring it at home.
And that was my wife. My wife would always, I would get home from a band gig, and I would want to get amorous, whatever. She'd be like, get a shower. Because my hair was a little bit longer then, and it smelled so bad like smoke. It would just be horrible. So now you're going out to a bar and you're breathing in COVID all night. Ugh.
Right.
Who would want to? Who would want to breathe in all that? So, yeah, I could not imagine. So I would not play.
At least your clothes wouldn't smell, though.
Yeah, you're right. Before the smoking ban, yeah, you would stink. At least you wouldn't smell. You might be infected with whatever, but your clothes wouldn't smell.
There are priorities.
You'd be a couple days away from respiratory failure, but you don't stink. It's all right.
I'm telling you, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Just like smoking.
Yeah, I was never a big smoker. So if I ended up getting lung cancer, it was secondhand, trust me.
They say it's worse. They say secondhand smoke is worse.
Really? It is?
That's what they say. Yeah. Well, because I guess it's because it's carbon dioxide mixed with the nicotine and everything else. So it's worse for you. That's just what I've heard.
I see. I saw a lot of
I'll get to yell at my parents and my wife for giving it to me.
a lot of Facebook messages I saw over the weekend talking about how dangerous masks are. A lot of attention, everyone. Danger masks. And one was from a guy who was bitching because how can I smoke and wear a mask?
Oh, well.
He was complaining because he couldn't, the mask prevented him from smoking cigarettes.
You know, not permanently on your face. You can move the mask and smoke and then put
Well,
back.
I think, listen, if you can't stop smoking, I don't know what the hell, I don't know why you're complaining about a mask, is all I'm saying. I mean, this guy, saying about something about his constitutional rights, and he was very, and people didn't understand.
Just put the butt of the cigarette on your mask and breathe through the mask.
Yeah.
It's double filtered then.
Yeah.
It's healthier. It's
There you go.
TJ goes, how many of those people did you delete, Ray? Absolutely, almost instantly. The guy who was bitching about the mask and smoking, instantly. I'm like, I don't need to see this. Goodbye. But I'm filled up again. I'm filled up with friends again, by the way.
Well, that's great.
Well, not really, because
Ray has friends. Good. Great.
No, I keep losing the friends, who say stuff that pisses me off. You know what I mean? I lose those friends. And it never fails. I get filled up again, but I keep finding more people that I have to defriend. So I think I'm full now. But literally, I just defended this guy who, and by the way, I'm fine once. I'm fine if once you want to, invite me to something or whatever. But the guy invited me to like a group of people that wanted to pray for Donald Trump. And
why are we praying for him?
And I'm just saying it was a bunch of propaganda. And I'm like, okay. I'm fine with it once, but you sent me like 100 of them, dude. It's like, come on, give me a break.
That's too many pages for me to troll.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to, why would you send it to anyone? If you know someone's like-minded, that's fine, but why would you just randomly send it out to anyone?
Well, I've gotten some friend requests, quite a few actually, and I look to see if we have mutual friends, and I look to see if I like those mutual friends, and I'm very particular about who I.
What do you
I friend?
When you friend someone? Okay,
mm-hmm.
It says how many mutual friends you have, and then it's got other hints. You know what I mean?
Well, first thing I do is I go to their page. Yeah, I go to their page, and if they have like no posts or anything like that, and it's not set to private, that's kind of a red flag to me. Also, if we don't have more than at least, say, maybe a dozen mutual friends, then. And another thing too, I've noticed, I've friended some people down here in my little neck of the woods just because our sons play together in sports and whatnot. But if I see them at the grocery store, they won't even speak to me. It's like, that's grounds for deletion. Because it's like, if you can't even speak to me in public,
I don't want
like, why?
I don't want Facebook friends that want to talk to me in public though. So I'm the wrong.
Yeah. I'm
person.
trying to get in and out. I don't want to have a conversation.
I'd rather just have friends.
You can text it to me.
I'd rather just have friends who want to talk to me on Facebook and nowhere else. That'd be fine.
Exactly. Very good.
That's where we're different.
You guys are so weird.
Yeah,
we can throw each other the head nod or the the cart wave, and then we're done with that conversation.
Well, the other thing is you get people from, I don't know if they're from other countries or what, but
Yeah.
like I don't even know what this guy's name is. It's just squiggles of. It looks like some.
This guy.
It looks like some kind of writing from a country that I've never been.
Yes, I've gotten a few of those.
It's
as well.
Wingdings. It's Wingdings font.
I don't even. You're right. I don't know what it is. I have no idea of the font. I don't even know what language this is. Now, why?
It almost looks Arabic or something.
Yes. Why am I supposed to be accepting this person's friend request when literally I have no idea who they are, where they're from, or anything? And the other thing is, like, somebody will send you a friend request, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you click on it, and all it is just like one picture.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
One
they just
picture
have
of
a profile picture, nothing else.
Yeah, of like usually a young girl or whatever. You know what I mean? Or or some picture of some shirtless guy, and you're just like, okay, this person's obviously looking for someone that isn't me, or just trolling.
Well, how do they find us?
I don't know.
I don't understand that either.
Or you go and
because, I have this.
You click on it, and then it says, you click on it, and then it says, I'm trying to send Rocky the, forgive me, the Zoom link. You click on it, and then it says that they're from some country you've never heard of in your life,
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, like, I don't know how to accept why would I accept this? Literally, or else the other one is when it's someone okay? But it's just one photo of them, and obviously it's some kind of clone. It's some kind of cloned account or something. Where
it's not a real person.
It's like that's not the person that because like you check, and then automatically you see that you're already friends with them. You know what I mean?
Well, have you gotten those messages on Messenger where it says, "Hey, check out this video I have of you"?
Yeah, that's.
Have you gotten those?
Yeah,
it's totally. Yeah, it's. Totally
I don't check out anything that anybody sends me.
But the first time I got it, I'm like, oh hell, who got a hold of what and when? What the? It kind of got my attention the first time. I'm like,
Sean
Who
Gotti's
had a camera?
Sean Gotti's in the chat room saying that's ISIS. No, but I have gotten, I have gotten stuff before where I think it's some type of recruitment video for ISIS or something. I have gotten that before. A few years ago. You do get weird friend requests. Whenever I get underneath the 5,000 plateau, I get friend requests from weird people that are inviting me to come join them. And I have no idea what the hell,
I have no idea. And I have no desire.
Let's welcome Rocky to the program. Hey, Rocky.
Good morning, Rocky.
I can see him.
I don't know. Can he hear
I
us?
don't think he can hear us. I don't know what's going on.
Is he awake yet?
Yeah.
He's blinking. That's a good sign.
I have no idea. I think he's coming out now to answer. Hello, Rocky.
Hello.
There he is.
Good morning.
Yeah, it takes a while because sometimes you get the video before the audio, and sometimes I can hear you right away, sometimes not.
Well, it is good to see you nonetheless, my friend. We're talking about the strange friend request that one gets on Facebook. Like I have one.
I once did a pie eating or whatever it's called, pie contest, where it's a charity thing and you get pies thrown in your face.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You pay so much and then they can throw a pie in celebrity's face. It was me and other people from like TV stations and whatever.
Was it like a real pie? Or was it just like a pan?
No, it was like shaving cream type.
Ew.
I think some of it was whipped cream, some of it was shaving cream.
Whipped cream's better than shaving cream.
But so I did that, and it was on Facebook, and there was pictures and everything. And after I did it, I had two requests, both from pie throwing fetishes.
Stop.
Fetishists.
Oh,
so there's a thing
fantastic
where people get off on having, I don't know, throwing a pie on somebody or having a pie thrown on them. Not only did I get the friend request, one of them kind of requested, whatever, and went away. The other one, friend requests. There's a Facebook group. He kept sending me requests. He would send me requests in other platforms,
accept fast enough.
if you know what I mean. He found me on another platform and sent me not only a friend request or message, but also more photos. And some of them involved pie. So, yeah. And it went on for, he would go away, and then all of a sudden, 3 months later, bing.
So
hey,
you were being harassed.
Are you going to do another pie thing? It's like he thought I did this pie thing because I had a pie throwing. It's like, it's a charity event.
From the woods.
How'd you like that pie hitting you in the face?
I don't think he was there. That's the thing. I think he saw it on Facebook, thankfully, after it had happened. But wow, if he would have seen I don't know how, I've seen it and then seen it live and come there or whatever, that would have been. But yeah, it was all.
Oh, he could not handle watching it in person.
Fetish.
He would not be.
What's that?
He could not handle watching it in person. It would be too much for him.
I've never heard of that though.
I have not
either. It's a
either.
sexual thing. It wasn't like, hey, I like to watch because it's funny. It was a turn on.
I could not
That's
imagine.
crazy.
I could not imagine being I could not imagine being an attractive person and having anyone with any kind of fetish. You know what I mean? Having any.
Yeah, I can't imagine being an attractive person either. But the one person that came up and kind of went away was freaky looking. You'd expect something.
Of course, yeah.
Don't pie on me. The guy that kept it up, he was actually. He looked like a normal, decent, good-looking. It wasn't like didn't look freaky, didn't look strange.
Didn't look like a weirdo.
Yeah, looked like he was in shape and everything, and it was just really, really. I don't know what's the sex like? What do you do? You get ready to and then throw a pie?
It's as fetishes
I
go.
a fetish for everything, but pie throwing, I had no idea.
Well, feet.
Can you imagine this guy watching a movie like it's what's that one? It's a mad world where the last 20 minutes of it is just pie throwing. Movie from the 60s.
Have you ever, Dorn? You ever met a foot guy? Any of those feet guys?
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah, the feet guys are
yes,
weird.
I have.
There was a foot guy who liked Sean Balint, not that long ago, and I guess it was a few years ago. But the whole thing was the guy liked when Sean Balint cross-dressed and wanted to ask about his feet. Just bizarre. I could not imagine
That
it.
is bizarre.
Because he wants a
Who would
girl
want
with
feet?
man-sized feet.
It's bizarre. What do they want to? What do they want to do to
sense. How is he going to get a woman with feet that big?
What do they want to do to your feet? Like Dorn, what do they want to do to your feet?
Well, back when I was traveling doing hair shows, there was this other artist from a competitor's company, and we'd all do big dinner parties and stuff after the shows, and we all, got along, had a good rapport. And this one guy in particular always wanted to sit across the table from me or sit next to me. And he would randomly reach down and pat my leg or whatever, and I would smile kindly okay. He would just blatantly slide his chair back, then down, grab my foot, take my shoe off, and he would lace his fingers through my toes and just hold my foot under the table. It was the creepiest thing Of course, I'm not going to say anything. I just kind of like, and I was looking over at my Leilani, who was, the head artist, and she looked over at me and she just kind of shrugged. And I said later, I go, what the f is that about? And she goes, it's your turn, sister. You're fresh meat and you got cuter feet. And I'm like, okay.
I've had it before. Like you go like a group of people and you're sitting down and you feel naked foot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Reach between your legs and start rubbing your crotch area. I have had that
with the bare foot.
I have had that happen, yeah, with a bare foot. And it was in a group of people that were eating dinner. And I freak out. I mean, I just, and I'm like, what? And I pushed myself back from the table. And I looked ahead, and in front of me there was, like sitting right across from me, there was an attractive female, but also sitting next to them was a gentleman. And
was it her husband or just her
no,
date,
it was a radio thing. So they were just it was just random people. But I immediately assumed that it was the attractive female.
Uh-oh. So she got up from the table?
Well, but here's the thing. To this day, I don't know. I don't know who it was. I don't know.
You don't know if it was her or the guy?
I don't know which one it was. They were the only ones that would have had feet long enough to reach.
That go-go gadget legs?
Yeah, that were long enough to reach.
Oh, moly.
And I don't know which one.
Like a European commercial like that.
I don't know which one it was. I wasn't interested either way.
A little creepy.
I wasn't interested either way, but to this day, I don't know which one it was. But you know what I mean? You feel the foot, it hits your leg, and then sort of works its way up, and it just weirds you out.
What were they doing with their foot?
Well, no,
were they tickling your balls? What were they doing?
They were just rubbing my crotch with the foot, and I was like, I mean, it was like we're talking, and I go, and here goes my head, and then I'm like, and then I pulled myself. I pushed myself back from the table, like so, and then it was really brief.
Oh, wow.
It was really brief. So I'm sure. I assume it to this day. I assume it was the woman. I think that would have been enough to let her know I wasn't interested, but I don't know. I also think that it could have been the guy.
How good was it?
Well, it was not. I mean, here's the deal. I was married.
I mean, that's how you can tell.
Yeah. I'm a married guy. I did not let it go. I did not let it go long. That's for sure.
It unfolded, but it didn't go long.
Well, I was not long enough for me to get excited or erected or anything, but I was more surprised by anything else because when you're sitting at a table eating, nothing should be touching your private area,
No.
But I was saying that it was many years ago when this happened.
Do you remember
one of the
listeners, Kathy, in the chat room? Remember the guy that used to ask for girls' socks back in the 90s? Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, the guy that was this the guy that told the police or told the girls he was me? Do you remember?
I don't know.
The guy from Verdon. The guy from Verdon. Rocky, you had been produced at the time. There was a guy from Verdon who used to go around and ask women for chewed bubble gum.
Oh yeah.
And socks. Yeah. He was we called him the sock bandit on the show.
The sock bandit. Exactly.
Yeah, we called him the sock bandit.
About him.
The Sangamon County sheriffs came out to the radio station one day and talked to me. This would have been
because they thought you were the sock bandit.
Well, this would have been in '96. I mean, this was right when we first started. They came and talked to me because these girls told them, well, the guy was Ray Lytle. He introduced himself as Ray Lytle from WQLZ.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And the police came and talked to me.
This is right there. He should have introduced himself as Jim the photographer, and then it would be, okay, yeah, we've heard.
The cops would have said,
that makes sense.
That's what it is. But this before anybody.
I guess he should have had a big pair of underwear full of socks instead of a big sock full of underwear.
Well,
Anyway.
they went. These girls. These girls were young. I want to say they were like 15, 16 years old or whatever. But so some girl came home and told her parents, "Hey, Ray Lytle stopped us on the street and asked if we had any chewed bubble gum or if we had any socks that we could give him."
Yes, right here in my pocket.
And so the parents called the police, and the police went out and talked to the girls, and they said, "Could you describe him?" All right, and so the girls described Ray Lytle to them, and the police went out to the radio station. I remember it. It was a Monday morning. They went out and they come in during. We waited for the commercial. They said, "All right, go ahead and talk to Ray." And Rocky, I want to say that you were producer, and you're like, "Yeah, go ahead and talk to him. It's commercials." And they came in, and the guy goes, "Oh, well, we know it's obviously not you." And I go, "Why?" And they go, "Well, because the guy that they described was not, 300 plus pounds, and it obviously wasn't me, and brown skinned or whatever." The guy was, all I remember is they said that he was balding. And
Okay.
yeah, and it obviously wasn't me, because the
Did
cops.
they ever find out who the guy really
Oh yeah,
was?
they caught him. Yeah, but the guy said,
Oh my God.
because they told me that I could put charges against him for impersonating me. The guy was telling women he was me, and he was going around Verdon, which I guess is Macoupin County, but for some
It
reason,
is.
but he also went out and somehow Sangamon County was involved, because that's who came and talked to me. At least I think it was Sangamon County Police. They came and talked to me because the guy had said he was me, and this was like 96. This is before anybody knew what I looked
Crazy.
like, because then billboards went up not too long after to where it became obvious that I'm me. And this is before the internet and all that stuff, and they assumed that I was the one going around asking for chewed bubble gum and dirty socks. Like a pervert.
Should have known it wasn't you.
weird.
You're a Cubs fan, not a Sox fan.
It was nuts. And the guy impersonated me. And I do remember Jimmy going, "What kind of pervert?" And I go, "What kind of pervert would like dirty socks and chewed bubble gum?" And I remember Jim going, yeah, "What kind of pervert is that?"
Hey.
Sort of licking his chops. But
Gross.
I do remember that the guy was from Verdon. He was a Verdon guy. And
Gotta love Macoupin County.
and that he wanted, and I don't know what he was doing with it. I don't know what he was doing with the socks, but I do remember someone calling once and saying that the guy, they get naked or something. They put all the dirty socks or clothes or whatever in their bed, and they get naked, and then they roll around and masturbate in the dirty.
Is it Macoupin County where they say, "Well, at least it wasn't horse fucking"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I think there was some horse fucking going on in Macoupin County.
That's what I mean. So anything
There
else,
was.
well, at least.
So, but if I'm not mistaken, there was a guy that called the show, and he says that that's what they do. They put the dirty clothes out in the bed, and they get naked and masturbate around the. And I'm just like, oh, good Lord.
I think that's true with a lot of fetishes. Back in the early 2000s, I worked at a salon closer to downtown, and we got notification from supply houses and the Department of blah blah professional reg and all that to not give, like, we would collect ponytails for different organizations that would make wigs for cancer patients or for kids with cancer and things like that, and we would collect, and hold on to these ponytails. And it used to be someone would come, or you'd either mail them in, or someone would come by representing the organization and collect them. Well, we got notification to not give our ponytails that we cut off to anyone, to save them and to mail them in. Apparently there was a gentleman in Springfield that was going to different salons and collecting the hair. And when they finally figured out who the guy was, he had his bed lined with all these ponytails and all this long hair. So yeah, I think that is part of the whole fetish thing, is to line your bed in it. And I could not imagine rolling around in someone else's hair.
Dorn, I remember this story.
Like tassels hanging off the bed.
No, they would, because we'd have to band the ponytails a certain way so they would stay straight and so they could be able to use them to manufacture the wigs. And he would undo them all. And because it had, the ponytails had to be at least 8 to 10 inches long. Some of them were longer. And he would just open them up and he just lined his bed with them.
I distinctly remember Sean Balint reading this story.
Yes. Yeah, it was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Like that.
I remember
we were all
it.
horrified.
Oh,
Well, it's
my
bad enough because like he was
God.
stealing from these organizations that are doing good things to help cancer
Yeah.
patients, and then it was just, yeah, it was disturbing, very disturbing. But yeah, that's what he did. He lined his bed with it, just like
pervert.
whoever did with the socks.
Just disgusting. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Why
I
are you
know, I know what to
lining
do
your
with my
bed?
old
You
sock.
think that's the one place you're not gonna lay, or you're not gonna the lining of the bed?
What's the creepiest?
Just when you think it can't get any weirder.
What's the creepiest thing that I just don't? What would be the creepiest thing that you would be into? Maybe I'm just there. There just isn't anything creepy that I'm into. I think
I don't think I'm into anything really freaky or creepy either.
I just like normal, for me, normal, whatever is good enough, right?
Normal vanilla.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Nick, I can tell Nick's got something going on. There's got to be some.
Oh, thank you.
There's got to be something creepy. There's got to be
Because
something.
in our jobs and lives and everything, we're always hearing about all this wild, weird stuff. So when it comes to, we just want normal.
Yeah.
We just want to.
yes.
I did get
Vanilla
quite a
as
tingle when I heard the
possible.
word pie. So I might be on to something.
You think you got a tingle?
Just a
Oh
little
my
tingle.
God.
Just a little.
What do you do with the pie? That's what I want to. I mean, it's like, I get the foot because but what do you do with the pie? Is it just?
I don't.
Is that start things? Is that finish things?
You
Is-
just
don't-
like. I think the guy in your case, the guy just liked
What do you do
watching
with the pie?
you and other
That's what I
people
wanna- I mean, it's
with
like,
the pies.
I get the foot.
Like
it's
just
Like
watching
throwing
it
them
is
or
what turned
when
it
it
on.
hits and the cream goes everywhere. I mean, that could be it.
Is that start things? Is that finish
Watching the
things?
cream
Just
splatter.
like I think the guy.
I'm a
in your
comedy
case, the
guy,
just
so
liked-
my thing would be that afterwards you just throw a pie in someone's face to end the joke.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It's almost like an orgasm. It's
Yeah, I think
it's shaving cream or whipped cream or whatever.
I see
Oh, hi,
Sean.
Sean.
I see Sean Balint has popped on. This we're talking about. Perfect. Shawnee, get into the free conference call for your audio, so we can hear you. Use your phone or whatever. I see Sean's grown that beard back out again. By the way.
Oh, it's on its way.
We probably need to save Sean's freaky story for Patreon.
Yeah. It's gonna.
Make
Sean's,
some money off that one.
well,
That's gonna be good.
Sean's got a story of. We were somewhere where Sean was dressed like he was Sandy. I'll just say I was with Sandy
Sandy.
Balint one night.
Sandy was
And
there.
there was a guy that really was into Sandy and started dancing.
Oh dear.
And started dancing with Sean.
Was the guy drunk or what?
Maybe a little,
But he was just
but
infatuated with Sandy.
I just remember that we were laughing about it, and so the girls made Sean go dance. Because one thing, when Sean's dressed like Sandy, women always want to hang around him. You know what I mean? Or they want to hang around her. I don't want it. I want to make sure we're using the right pronouns.
Proper, yes.
Yes. And they want to hang around Sandy. And I remember them going to the dance floor and coming back, and Sean was horrified. And I was like, what was it? I guess the guy that, I mean, I don't want to tell his story, but the guy was full on erected, to make a long story short.
God. Oh, dear.
The guy that was dancing with Sean.
Yes.
Oh, my
Sean,
goodness.
get on the call you
You
usually
were
make.
doing line dancing where one person's behind the other, were they?
No, the The guy went
There
behind.
you go.
The guy went behind Sean and started doing. It started grinding.
Tush pushed in the leather flap.
The guy was grinding.
Good thing he didn't do the achy breaky, because that's a whole different dance. Like the breaky achy.
I just remember him. Oh, now he's gone. Now he's gone.
Yeah, he's on.
Oh goodness.
Oh well. I was hoping that he would get on with us. All right, so yeah. But the guy was a full-on erection. But
I can't.
and,
I can't.
he was.
Oh my
I
God.
remember he was mortified.
Oh. Have you ever danced with someone with a full-on erection, Ray?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't.
Would you like to?
You might like it.
I
We've
wouldn't.
had doors open.
I
but
wouldn't be
not,
opposed, I guess, but I don't dance much. I don't dance much these days.
Sandy has a look, though. I mean, when he's dressed as Sandy, he doesn't like kind of halfway go. I mean, he looks like
He goes all in. He goes all in.
A full-on look.
Yeah.
And there's going
Full-on
to be
drag.
somebody that's into it.
Sandy's having fun. Oh, Sean just sent me.
If somebody's into having pies thrown on him, somebody's going to be into that look. There's something for everybody.
Sean just sent me a message saying that he's got to interview different people, and his interview just called, so that's why he went off. He said it wasn't us; it was the fact that he had to work. So he'll try to get back on later.
He's got that job thing.
Yeah, that whole working crap always gets in the way.
Stuff, right? I hear you.
All right, let's do some. I
Gonna
do
talk
have.
to CC DeVille, find out what's up.
I do have some things to get to. Let's see.
Such as?
I had if your significant other eats fast food without you, what is your feeling on that? There's a new survey of people who like fast food. And they asked the people about what if their partner has fast food without them. All right? Some people who were surveyed, some people think that their partner eating fast food without them is tantamount to cheating.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, go to hell.
What's in that special sauce?
They think it's the same.
What
as
are they
cheating.
eating the fast food on?
Well, I don't. If someone told me my wife stopped by McDonald's and had something, why would I care? You know what I mean?
I mean, the only thing I can figure out is if you have somebody that usually prepares dinner and you don't tell them and you just walk in with a bag of Burger King and they had planned on, but that wouldn't be cheating. That would be more like sabotage or just being thoughtless or whatever.
Well,
This is cheating.
The only thing I can think of is okay. What if it's me and I'm lying to my wife saying I'm on a diet and I'm not going to eat bad, and then she finds out that I'm sneaking off to the fast food restaurant and getting whatever. I could imagine her being upset then, right?
Well, yeah, cheating on a diet. Yeah.
But I can't imagine them. I could not imagine your spouse comparing your eating fast food to cheating, like on the marriage.
I don't think it's cheating. I think it's just being inconsiderate. I mean, if you're going to go get fast food, you should ask your significant other, hey, I'm going to run right here. Would you like something?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's more
of
like thoughtful.
I think the deeper part is lack of communication.
Yeah.
Than getting fast food.
Well, some people say that it's the same as cheating.
No.
But you walk home and your wife's got like a burrito in her vagina or something, that would probably be more towards cheating on the marriage.
And what if they're That might be the weirdest.
But-
There's the weirdest fetishist thing that's ever come up. Is someone
Or
putting
yeah,
a burrito in their
food to go-
vagina.
Go have sex with it.
And if,
Oh God.
and if someone other than you is eating the burrito, that's very troubling.
Right.
I don't know why
The
anyone
guy
would
with Burger King face on.
I don't know why anyone would want to eat a
Creepy head.
burrito out of a vagina, but oh well, to each their own.
What about French
How
fries?
else could that be cheating on cheating on a diet, but not. I mean,
Yeah.
you're just being thoughtless or whatever. If you, like you said, but
Yeah.
somebody's,
Exactly.
you didn't tell
Exactly.
somebody and you walk in and they were hungry or they had something else planned, but that's not cheating.
But I
No, I
remember.
think that-
Listen, I would have
It's just
to.
the skimming the surface of a whole different level. It's just the whole non-communication in the relationship.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
lack of
Those are the
consideration.
same people who get mad if you watch an episode of a show you're watching together before them.
yeah, but I would get upset about that. Like if my wife and I watching some show on Netflix or something, and she's at work during the day or whatever, and I
You don't jump ahead.
no, unless I'm gonna watch it again. You know what I mean? And I watch a show without
Well, yeah.
her, I would, or if she
Yeah.
did it to me, I would be very upset. You know what I mean? Because
Well, as long as she'd be willing to watch it again with you. I mean, we have that issue around here all the time,
it's like
and we just,
I'm
go
trying
back
to
and
watch a
I'll
show.
watch it again, or
Yeah, I
she'll
think a
watch it
lot of
again.
If you're going to go ahead and watch it before me, you're going to watch it again because I haven't seen it yet, and that's your punishment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I
Exactly.
think it's an
Well, I'm not gonna get
experience
all
you're supposed to
butthurt
have
about it.
together.
Yeah, you
having
have
it
it together.
revealed
Right.
together.
Yes. If you're watching
Yeah.
if you're watching a show if you're binging a show with someone, yeah, I would think that's more of a problem than eating fast food. I would think, right?
I think so, because it's more of a
Not my
personal thing
rule.
that you're sharing together. If
Nick,
you're always sharing your fast food, then maybe
Nick,
but
are
no,
you
sit
saying that
down
you and
you
your wife will be
experience
watching
a show
something together and you will skip ahead?
I never said I would do that. I just think
Oh.
it's not a big deal.
You see, I think it's just very rude. I would
A lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah, I would just think it's
For
rude.
sure.
And my wife would have the that would give her the right to, I wouldn't
Eat
want to
fast
open
food without
I
you.
wouldn't want to open up that can of worms. What if next thing you know, there's a burrito in her vagina? I had a burrito in her vagina. I
Now
don't-
she's cheating.
yeah, I don't want to be mad. I don't want to mess with any of that. Whatever
Hopefully it's not a bean burrito.
whatever leads to a bean burrito in the vagina, I don't want any part of it. You don't want to
Oh.
Like chicken.
So 55% of people think that it's a form of cheating if your significant other eats fast food without you. 55.
I
Is
think
that,
it's
is that what-
cheating on the trust or something. Cheating on the diet.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's bad communication. Someone said that
Yeah,
earlier.
I agree.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I think Nick said that, and it is. It's bad. You
Yeah.
should at least communicate more. Like, if my wife has told us, okay, I'm going to come home and make dinner as soon as I get home, and she decides to stop and eat fast food, and then we're all waiting for dinner, and she comes home and there's no dinner except she's eaten, I would be upset. Right?
Yeah. Something else that bothers me is if I have prepared a meal and someone turns their nose up at it. They're like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I don't cook separate meals for my child. I'm not cooking a separate meal for you. You eat what I cook or you starve, bitch. That's
But
how
that-
shit
but-
goes at this house.
But
I'm
then,
not making separate dinners for everybody.
but
not
what
doing
if,
it.
what if the guy says, well, on my way, but here, I'm going to give you this scenario.
Making a note not to
Okay.
eat at Doran's house. Excuse me.
Yeah. I've been at Doran's house.
Starved.
Very picky.
I've never eaten at Doran's house. I didn't know this is an issue. But what if the guy says, "Oh, I grabbed something on the way over"?
Oh, that's fine then. Yeah, if you say, I'm like, this is what I'm having for dinner. If he doesn't like that, fend for yourself.
Yeah, but
You
would
can
you,
bring something out here.
if you invited your boyfriend over
Hmm.
and he stops and gets dinner on the way over to your home,
Hmm.
and you've cooked dinner
Mhm.
for like, for maybe your son and you and him, and all of a sudden you guys go to sit down. He goes, "Oh no, I grabbed something on the way home." You mean to tell me you wouldn't be mad?
That would upset me.
Yeah. See, I would
Because if I already told him that I'm
Yes.
cooking dinner
yeah.
and told him what I was having, if he said, "Well, I don't want to eat that, I'll grab something else," I would be fine. But for me to prepare the meal,
If he just
and have it
goes
already,
and
and then
grabs
he
something,
get
you
here
would be
and say,
upset. Yeah.
I already ate.
Yeah.
You're gonna
It
wear
all comes
it.
down to the communication.
Yeah. It's a communication
Exactly.
problem.
That's right.
That's what I think.
I think you're right. I think Nick's very right.
By God.
I'm glad someone thinks I'm right. Finally.
I see Sean Bullitt is still not on free conference call.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Sean, why are you not on the audio thing? I see he's back on the video, but he's
Yeah.
trying to
thought I
talk the
was.
video. We can't hear anything coming through Zoom.
He's more known for his looks than his voice anyway, let's face it.
Let's try this.
What? No, I think that's
Stop
completely
trying to talk.
That's not right.
Sean, stop trying to talk through Zoom. We don't hear any audio on Zoom. It's not even plugged in for audio.
Yeah, you're taking away Ray's green box. You don't like that.
Well, I don't care
Ray
about
is
the
the only green box
I don't
in
care
this
about the
Zoom.
green box. I don't have Zoom hooked up to run audio on,
You sent him directions on how to do it, right?
Well, Sean is on the audio software every day. He calls the show every day.
But you've added another layer called Zoom to it, so now things get confusing.
Yeah, and
Does
so
he understand he has to do the audio first, or does it matter which order you do it in?
it doesn't matter.
No,
I don't
it
think it
doesn't matter what
matters. Yeah, it's just that
Okay.
we separated it, because
It works better that way.
yeah, it just.
Maybe he's just better off just
So
to
the
call.
people listening to the chat room are going, I heard him. Yeah, I know you guys hear him, but that's fine. But that's not connected
we
into the
can't.
board. We can't hear him.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything
Yeah.
from him.
We don't, I just want to, our Zoom is separate from our audio. We want good audio.
So he could go in and just say whatever he wants about us. We wouldn't hear it, but half the audience would.
Yeah.
That's good to remember.
See, we can hear him now. Now I see he's on the audio, so we can hear him fine. But I'm saying if he gets on Zoom now, we'd be able to hear and see him. Hello, Sean.
You want me to switch?
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying be on this and on Zoom at the same time. That's how the
Yeah,
rest.
when it asks you on Zoom if you want to use audio, click no.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I'm with the program.
It'll ask on Zoom if you want to use audio, just click no.
No.
Yeah. If not, you're just
Okay.
gonna.
I can figure that out.
You
Now
could-
we're on the same damn page.
Well, this is how everybody else does it,
Well,
Sean.
not yet because we can't see you.
Yeah. The rest of it, we can't. We like to see you. Don't ask us why.
Book is
but-
open. Book's open, but we're not on the same page yet.
Yes.
We're in the library.
The book is open,
The book is open.
but we're not on the same. But we're on page 58. You are in you're in page 1.
Introduction.
Yeah.
Introduction.
You're
He's reading the table of
You're reading the
contents.
forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh.
we now welcome Sean Bullitt fully
Hello to the chicks out there.
to the show,
Across the
audio
region.
and video. Hello, Shawnee.
Hello there, everyone.
Number one, I
Good
see
morning,
you're
Sean.
letting your beard go again.
Hi, Torrent. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get it back to the Civil War, but yeah, it's getting a little thick again.
Good for
I
you.
may hold back from General Beauregard Evans or whatever the hell I had going on, but it was pretty 1860s there for a while.
It looked
I don't know what
ridiculous.
that means.
He wants
Well,
a
if you look
military
back at
base
some
to
of
be
the,
named after him.
Bond
He's very
generals
well
of
for it.
both sides of the war.
All right, so
It had that.
we were talking about. Let's get you caught up with a bunch of things we're talking about. We were talking about fetishists that have called that were into Rocky eating pies.
Well,
They were into Doran's
They're
feet.
like having a pie in the face.
Yeah. I'm sorry. They liked him getting a pie in the face.
Pie in the
Doran's feet.
face.
Hey, Doran, what's the weirdest thing a guy's ever done to your feet?
The weirdest thing.
Well, I don't know if you're into feet or not. I imagine you're not.
I had someone suck my toes one time.
Did you like it or not like
That
it?
I'm very ticklish, so it was kind of weird. I was kind of squirmy, and I think he took that as me getting turned on by it, but it was
Oh.
me trying not to like scream with laughter because it was tickling me.
See, I would think that would be
weird.
bizarre. Yeah, really weird.
It's just weird.
I
But
just
I take
imagine
care of
some
my
big,
feet, you know.
big, strong, tough, burly guy in the middle of hot passion, just reaching down to her feet and go, "This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home."
I could not.
Oh my god.
I don't understand that. I mean, I think I don't remember ever putting a woman's foot or toe in my mouth. However, I mean, I do think one point my wife and I were in a hot tub, and I might have kissed a toe or something. You know what I mean? But not.
Definitely rubber feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put it. The toes don't go in the mouth.
No.
It's
Right?
just weird.
You're gonna
The
make
toes don't go there.
you're
don't
gonna
go
make
there.
someone feel really uncomfortable.
Toes don't go anywhere except on the ground.
And
or
I
in a
also
shoe.
I
They don't
also
go
talked
anywhere-
about
They don't go anywhere else.
I also talked about Sean and Sandy, and Sandy was dancing with someone.
yeah, that could be a little.
Sean's cousin Sandy goes dancing.
Yeah. Thinking of
Growl
security
or
here,
no?
you know what I mean?
I'm just saying
Uh,
that I do remember that happening. And when it started when we were talking about the guy who was in
Straight-
Verdon that was going around telling people he was me, and he was wanting chewed bubble gum and socks. And then Doran told the story of a guy in Springfield who they were doing something with the ponytails. And then I said, I distinctly remember Sean Balint reading this story back
Right.
when we were doing the disaster. Sean, do you remember telling this story?
absolutely. I think it was like a place over there, Dirksen, just off of Stevenson.
And the
If
guy,
I recall right, a haircutting. I think it was Capital City Shopping Center.
but I mean, the guy was getting hair from all kinds of salons because they were telling people
Yeah.
to stop giving it to him because he was claiming
Yeah,
he was from the
And they called it-
organization.
I think that's where it all ended because they caught him in the dumpster.
Oh,
He was like digging for hair in the dumpster there.
but he was taking the. We must have had a conversation with him because in my mind, he was. We were talking about him laying in the hair.
Yes, that's when they finally caught him. Upon investigating his home, it's where they found it. And I feel horrible because I know the salon I was at the time gave him the bag of ponytails. So I know some of my clients' hair was in that bed, which completely grosses me out.
So he would lie and say he was with like the cancer organization or whatever it was.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
certain
I'm
different
with Locks. Yes, I'm here
organizations.
for Locks of Love.
That's that was
Oh,
it.
but
Wasn't
he-
going to name drop, but
He claimed
yeah,
he was from
that's-
Locks of Love.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could not imagine. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just strange. Just strange. And you wonder what happens to someone in their childhood or in their upbringing that triggers these type of weird fetishes.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what
I may have
triggers
watched
these
too
weird-
many episodes of Hoarders yesterday.
Sean, what
too.
triggers
There's
these
some
weird
guy-
fetishes?
He walked
Yeah.
in on his mom and another guy that wasn't his father. His mom had really, really long hair. When he saw this and it traumatized him, his mom's head was hanging off the bed and her hair was coming off the end of the bed looking like a bed liner. Ever since then,
Yeah, it's some.
There you go.
Wow.
It's usually, you know what?
Thank you, Rocky, for that psychoanalysis of
No,
the situation.
It usually
Makes
has.
sense.
It usually has to do with your parents and some sexual thing.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I think that's what causes childhood trauma.
I'm watching a lot of strange documentaries, so it's always
Bullshit like
in
that.
the end, it's always the same story.
Yeah. I'm saying Sean used to have insight, and Sean must have some fetishes because he used to have strange insight into these types of stories. That's all I'm saying.
You know, there's something to it, and I think it really. I think when there's a failure to connect, whether it's either physical or psychological, those things become more important to a person. I've come up with a theory that sometimes it represents what 20% of the person wants, and it will go counter to their day-to-day self. These are theories I come up with. That all of a sudden,
I like my theory of the
sudden
woman with the head
compulsion.
over the bed better.
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah,
Guy walked
A
in.
little big, Sean.
6 days out of
Little
7 are
big.
normal, and then just one day I got to have this weird thing.
It's very bizarre. Well, the guy that was impersonating me, I mean, I think he was just saying, and I don't think I was the only person he was impersonating, but at the time, it did bother me. The guy was saying he was me, and he was asking these young girls to give him things, you know.
Well, being fraudulent and robbing the locks of love. I mean, that's the worst
Yeah.
part. I mean, people can have whatever fetish they want, but when you start robbing charities,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
And how many-
that's bad.
How many young kids, like, I mean, Doran, you would know this more than me, but how many like young girls grow their hair out so that they can help someone who lost their hair due to cancer or something, and then to find out that it was being stolen by some pervert?
Exactly. It's heartbreaking. I have a couple of families actually that's what they do. They'll grow their hair out and
Got it
cut it off once a year, and they
So
would
they can
always
use to make
donate
wigs.
it. Mm-hmm.
And then whenever you find out that, like, there was a company from, I forgot where, but there was a company that was selling it. And I remember people being so upset after they found out that they were donating what they thought was going to cancer patients, and literally they were selling their hair for extensions, or it turned out it was going to like it was going to like wealthy white girls who wanted to
Exactly.
extend their
I
hair.
forget which organization became under fire for that.
Yeah. So
Or even worse, you're like hair sold as some kind of fake ponytail at a county fair.
yeah, and
You know, you think you're going to a cause, and it's taken home by a carny.
I mean that would be troubling.
Yeah, human hair is expensive. It's very expensive.
And then to find out that, you know, a pervert is masturbating in your hair. I mean, that would.
Yeah.
And then what if they
Gross.
use it in the commission of a crime?
Yeah. Horrible.
Gross.
Yes, sir. We're charging you with first-degree murder. We found your hair at the scene. No, sir. It was a carny who bought a ponytail made of my hair. How would you present that in court?
Oh.
Yeah. You see, I don't.
Your Honor, my client has teeth. The witness reported seeing someone without teeth. Please.
I don't pretend to understand how fetishes work, but
I don't either. I just think it's all very bizarre.
it's very.
You know, and
strange.
you brought up earlier, said the other character. I mean, there was that night at the Atrium where I thought Shaner had approached that other character from, you know, like he'd always hit her with a stick from behind.
Yeah.
And
Sandy.
I thought it was Shaner again, and there was this creepy guy in a John Deere hat who just had this serial killer smile. And I'm thinking if Sandy was 5'8" and like 140 pounds, she might have wound up in the
So
trunk.
you're saying that Sandy was out one night and that she thought Shaner was standing behind her with a mop handle.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And when she
Why?
He'd done that to you.
when she turned around, when she
Oh my God, that's
He did that
hilarious.
2 years in a row, and then all of a sudden I looked, and this weirdo is looking at Sandy like she's the nectar of the gods.
and you're saying that there wasn't
And,
there wasn't a mop handle.
which is, you know, what's, you know, And I don't think
I was
Sandy
saying
ever threw a
earlier when
punch
Sean
with,
wasn't on
three-
here, when Sean gets dressed up as Sandy, he goes all out. He makes it look good. I mean,
Oh, very good.
I mean, I could see how somebody would be into that.
Would they pop a full-on erection? I mean,
That's what expert help.
Even with pies thrown at him, I mean,
I mean, I'll admit when Sean,
that,
I'll admit that there are times you look at Sandy and you go, okay, that Sandy, yeah, I could buy that Sandy's real. However, it's another thing to go, I'm going to get a full-on erection.
safe to say, if it was like a mop handle, it was full on.
Oh, God.
Mop handle erection.
Wait, it didn't suddenly get soft, did it?
You know what? I didn't really.
So you're saying that you were getting jabbed in the ass?
Oh my God!
And then suddenly it went
want
limp, and he walked away.
You were getting jabbed in the ass, and you to the point where you thought it was Shader with a mop handle.
No, yeah, never a dull moment out there. Weird things always happen at the atrium. You know, like Jim had urine thrown on him, and you know, your brother got mangled. I mean, there was always something crazy in that place.
The atrium was kind of fun.
And now she sits up. Yeah. That's where the most.
And then there was
crazy,
the roof.
And then Barstool Bob almost bled to death at my first going away party.
Oh yeah.
Remember that he had like 8 beers.
Yeah, Barstool Bob was bringing a bunch of beers up to us, and he fell. And there was a bunch of, and he fell on top of the beer, and it cut his wrist or something.
Oh my God!
All I remember is we were all there, and it was Sean's going away party, and he was hanging out with us, even though he worked at the other state. He worked at YMG, and he goes, "What do you guys want?" And we're like, "Oh, we'll take a Bud Light or whatever." So he goes to the bar and he grabs like 7 or 8 Bud Lights, and he's carrying them, and he's walking, and he trips, and he falls on, like, 2 of the bottles break, and one of them cuts his wrist. And so,
oh my God,
Jimmy and I reached down and we grabbed like the other 5 bottles from his hands, the ones that didn't break, and we start passing them out to people. And meanwhile, he's laying on the ground just bleeding.
By the way, that's where they got the idea for Busch Light Apple. It's like, oh, these 2 colors look good together.
And I just remember there was blood everywhere. And then I don't know what the hell happened to him. I don't know if they.
It was like
he had to go get stitches or what.
It was like
obvious happy ending though. 5 beers were saved.
Yeah, that was the good news. I do remember Jim going, well, at least some of these beers were saved because we were drinking them. Hope there's no blood on
Bloody
these.
Mary. That's not a Bloody Mary, Jim.
I hope
That's our friend.
I hope there's no blood on these.
Wrong.
At least we got our beers.
Oh my God.
Ray, at least we got our beers. And the guy was just bleeding on the floor. How bizarre. Oh my God. Yeah. And Sean was once poked with a mop handle.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Linda Blair right there at the atrium.
And it wasn't Shaner.
Yeah, that dude. I'm telling you, I'll never forget those eyes. It was like 1/3. I'm trying to spin this as a joke. 2/3. You know, and
you sound
anyway,
like you're
you never
pretty.
know what somebody.
Sound like you're pretty
You never know
proud
what
that you were
somebody
able to
did.
cause an erection. Is what it sounds like to me. Like, well, look at me. I
I'm
was
really
looking
trying
so
to be
hot, I
careful
caused a
because
big
of
old
my-
erection
Yeah, well,
in this guy.
You know, so that I don't.
It is
make
something to be
people
proud
call
of.
me a little.
I have never
But,
caused.
yeah, I don't.
I don't think I've ever caused another
But
man to
anyway,
get an
yeah.
erection. If I had, perhaps I would be proud of it.
Yeah,
you know?
we call it Illinois Employment Security. We keep talking about this, but
I'm
anyway.
just saying.
But it was strange, and it's again, who was the guy who always went after? He was the one who claimed to write Motley Crue songs.
Oh,
he almost had like
yeah.
that Crazy Jack. What the
There
hell
was
we call it?
Yeah.
John, Crazy John.
That's the one. Yeah, he threw urine on Jim, and
Wow.
That was that guy that claimed that Motley Crue was stealing his music.
Oh boy.
yes,
I forgot all about that.
Me too.
That guy was nuts.
Wow.
most infamous guy, the side of clock guy.
Very bizarre. That's who
All
threw
clock
urine.
guy wanted to do was make clocks now. He wasn't throwing beer on people.
How bizarre.
But I can make a
Clock
clock
guy's a good guy.
look like spilled beer, though. This guy would
He
come
said
in,
he's
he
like the
could make a
MacGyver of
clock.
clock.
He was constantly trying to sell the fact that he could make a clock out of anything.
Oh dear.
I miss all the old characters, man.
What a
Springfield was a
weird-
different town in the 90s.
It was a weird
Oh,
show.
that it was.
Before the internet, social media.
Well, yeah.
there was
Now,
more.
now it's Springfield's not that
Right.
weird because we have the whole internet. You know, the whole internet is opened up
Yeah.
now, so where there's even more weirdos that you can find online.
Yeah,
You would actually
they're
have
just
to
weird.
look
They
in
talk
person.
to they're normal, and then you're in an alley one day, and these are the last breaths I'm going to take.
It's like the guy with the mullet, who lives here in Springfield.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah, that one.
yeah.
The chili bowl, the chili bowl mullet guy.
Mullet guy?
But it's
Like
like,
little mullet guy.
you're going to have to keep narrowing it down.
like if he would have been around in the 90s, you know he would have been on the disaster. He'd have been a big part of the disaster. Now he's just
yeah.
now we all have the internet. So, you know, he's still odd, but he's just one of the millions you could find on the internet. In the 90s, it would have really been special because, there was nothing like him.
They still have Chili Bowl mullet guy sightings occasionally.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him.
There was a documentary about him.
I saw him the other day. I was
Really?
He was over walking in the
I follow him on Facebook.
he was over I saw him. He was walking towards the old Toys R Us.
Oh, okay.
And I went, "Hey, what's up, Chili Bowl?" I said, "What's up, mellow guy?" He goes, "Hey, Ray, how you doing?" He's the nicest guy. If you guys ever, he goes, "Hi, Ray, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And my wife was with me, and she goes, "Why are you talking to this weirdo?" And I go, he's really, really nice guy. He's
He's
like,
a very nice weirdo.
he goes,
Yeah.
"Hi, Ray, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, I've given him a ride before. I've seen him walking." And I go, "Hey, you want to ride?" He goes, "Yeah." He's actually he's a very nice guy. But I'm saying in the 90s, he would have been more special because we didn't have the internet. Now you're like, "Oh, that guy's weird." It's nothing compared to all the other weirdos you see on the internet. You know what I mean? Because we've now have the whole world at our disposal. And you could always find someone worse or more weird or, with the exception, I do think Jim the photographer was the exception to that. He was so odd. There wasn't a lot of people like him. Even to this day, he holds up. He holds up well.
He holds up really well because, like I was saying, he was ahead of his time. That's what it turned out to be.
Now the
All
internet
that
is full of a bunch of
Oddness
wannabes.
was like came to fruition.
Yeah. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Recon Text. That's Recon Text on the corner of 9th and Black. Recon Text. A proof is in the performance. Let them detail your car. Call now 670-1132 and get your car detailed. Looking good. Throw in free steam cleanings and disinfectants with every regular detail at Recon Text. DTE Technologies. DTE Technologies. Call 408-0001 at DTE Technologies. Let them become your IT person for your company. DTE Technologies and Core Installation, Furniture and Supply. If you need a new chair, new desk, new whatever it is, you can get it at Core Installation, Furniture and Supply. Corey will put your chair together, drop it off at your house, delivery, the whole works. Call 741-1079 today. And right now she has masks, gloves and sanitizer available for people to use while coming into your business. 741-1079. All right, we have a whole list of things that I was going to get to and haven't yet, so I will try to pick one or two and read them for you. A woman was very upset because her boyfriend would not argue with her. This is a woman in Louisiana. And she got... Dorn, you ever been upset because a guy wouldn't argue with you?
I think Dorn has left the building.
Yeah, Dorn's out.
Guys, have you ever been upset because your person you're dating would not argue with you?
No, I would be glad if they wouldn't argue with me.
Yeah, my whole life is trying to keep my wife from arguing with me.
Yeah, I mean, you had some people, they just had a conflict thing. You had to have regular conflict.
It's a 29-year-old woman in
That's
Shreveport.
How you showed you cared. That showed how you weren't a poussoir.
Well, I think that's
Whatever.
it. I think that's it. These people are, they equate arguments with love or whatever. A woman named...
the intensity. People want that intensity, that constant friction, and then carry that over to the bedroom.
A woman named Jenalicia Lawrence. What the hell kind of name is Jenalicia? A 29-year-old woman from Shreveport, Louisiana, was angry at her boyfriend, and she wanted to fight, but he didn't want to fight. So she...
Sounds about right.
So she pulled out a gun and shot him.
Well,
that's one way to do it.
Did he then fight? Did her plan work?
It was very bizarre. No, he didn't fight. He went to the hospital in critical condition.
Oh, well.
And Jenalicia is now facing charges for attempted second-degree murder. It was unbelievable. Paramedics.
I heard a story in college. I had a friend in college that told me one time that he had a girlfriend like that was always intense and described herself as intense, that kind of thing. And they're rolling down the road to where all three of us are, I think, went to college in Godfrey. And she just starts picking stuff out of his truck and throwing it out the window. And the more he ignored her, the more valuable the stuff got. And to the point where she took his phone and threw it out the window.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
that's
just
crazy.
like, what are you doing? I want to be a bitch.
Oh.
And go ahead, get pissed. Do something about it. Do something about it.
I'd throw her out of the car. I would throw her out of the car. I would pull over and say, get out of the fucking car.
And then somebody drives by with a video. That's all they get. Guy throwing innocent girl out of the car.
I was once hooked up with someone who wanted to, you know what I mean, would do that shit, would want to fight. Yeah. And it just didn't last. It did not last long, and I said, get out.
No, I see that like a mile away. It's like, no, not interested in that. I grew up with parents and family that was nonstop arguing. I don't... I had my fill as a child of that.
It takes a while. No, I dated the girl for a while before that side of her popped out, and I was just like, nope, we're not gonna put up, because I don't like to fight.
Yeah. Don't
get me wrong. You don't want to fight with me. I'm good at it, but I just don't like it. I mean, I can be an asshole. I just choose to not be. I mean,
right,
Sean,
no.
But Sean, you know me pretty well, right? I can be an asshole.
Yeah.
I just don't like to do it.
When need be, it's like there's kind of a line in the sand thing.
I don't understand anyone who wants you to display the asshole side of you,
I've always gone with the Patrick Swayze Roadhouse quote, always be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Yeah, like there's a line you don't cross, and then when the line is crossed,
Roadhouse,
get the hell out. That's when you say, party's over. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That's when
You know, when Ben Gazzara gets involved, you'd walk away a wiser man.
Yes. But he was the bad guy, though. You weren't supposed to learn from him.
We've had a Ben
Well,
Gazzara
much
reference.
like Robert Frick taught us by being the bad guy in the burning bed.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to be the bad guy to teach.
Remind us we're having our own conversation over here.
Oh, bizarre. Yeah, but the woman wanted to fight. The guy didn't want to fight, so she pulled out a gun and shot him.
TV movie in 2020.
Because that seems
from
reasonable.
The 1980s. I'm really on top of it.
Hey, by the way, Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is announcing to the world that if this current round of cancer treatments that he's on doesn't work, he will halt the cancer treatments. So he's still got it.
Yeah.
That just sucked.
He's had a lot more success, I think, with that type of cancer than a lot of people. Of course, I know he has resources, but
well, that's
a tough one.
He has pancreas cancer, right?
Yeah.
That's the cancer that killed my brother. It's a really, as cancers go, that's a really, really bad cancer.
Yeah, I don't envy him.
Horrible. A person in Minnesota went drinking and they can't remember where they parked their car. So
I smoked peyote in Minnesota and forgot where the hotel was, so I can kind of relate.
So they are now posting. They were so drunk they had a friend take them home. They can't remember where they parked their car. The guy has put up signs all over Minnesota that say, "I can't find my car."
Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, it's a 2007 Toyota Camry. He says, "I know it's on a residential street,
it's a rare car,
somewhere in the northern part of this county," meaning the car could be anywhere for like 600 miles. And there is a reward for anyone who finds the car. So people in Minneapolis are looking for this guy's car that he lost.
Same thing. If it was in St. Louis, the reward would be the car.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably stolen now, right? It's been lost for a while. Maybe someone stole it. The guy says he lost his car, can't find it. He says, quote, "I may have saved your life or your child's life, but now I can't find my car. Help me find it."
Couldn't have walked that far away. I mean, if it's not in a mile radius, then
yeah, I mean,
it's gone.
Where did you
Somebody
go?
drove it away.
Where did you go? How the hell did?
It's probably in an impound lot somewhere.
Have you guys ever lost your car? Like, I hear
For
stories.
like 5-10 minutes. I mean, I went to a NASCAR thing one time, and was not familiar with that parking lot or whatever, and so wasn't really, because I was late. It was a radio thing, just jumped out of the car, didn't even bother to look at what any of the signs were, and that huge parking lot at Gateway, I found my car in 15 minutes, something like that, maybe. I didn't lose it for good.
So, I've gone.
Eventually, people will drive out of the parking lot. You're the only one left.
I've gone to
I went
shopping
out
mall
on the wrong
before.
side of a Walmart once and thought I lost my car, but
Gone to a
then I
shopping
realized my
mall or
mistake.
a Walmart and maybe went to the wrong aisle, but I've never lost the car. I mean, it's pretty hard to lose a car.
And give up. Like, well, I'm going home now.
Yeah.
I would find the car.
I mean, how
Or I would
drunk?
determine that the car had been driven away.
How drunk do you have to be where you can't remember where you put your car the next day?
Probably a good thing you couldn't find it.
Yeah.
If he's that wasted.
But this guy can't find his car, so oh well. He's looking for it. And Nick, you were just in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah, I got a new car.
It was a Toyota Camry. A 2007. I mean, listen, it is a 2007 Toyota Camry. It's probably time to get rid of the car anyway. I mean, how much more resources are you going to put into a 2007 Camry? At some point, you have to determine something isn't worth it. What's old for a car now, Sean?
Oh, so you were saying what on a car again?
I said,
average.
What's old for a car?
Average value?
No, I'm just saying.
Gosh, it's hard to find one front 20.
Would you drive around a 2007 right now?
I drive a 2007 Ford Taurus.
All right. Is it old? Does it seem old to you, Nick?
It's got 200,000 miles on it.
Does it seem old to you?
Yes.
I think any car that you can't connect to, like with a Bluetooth or some sort of thing like that, seems older.
Yeah,
anything that doesn't have like a.
I have to get accessories for it, for Bluetooth and radio and stuff like that. So yeah, it's old.
I mean, my car feels pretty new. It's got Sirius, Bluetooth, all that shit. You know what I mean? You're right. If it didn't have any of that, I would feel that it was old.
I mean, I think if you get into somebody's car and they've got, just the regular CD player or whatever, it looks like it's from a different.
I wouldn't steal
like
that
it's from the
car.
previous era.
I wouldn't steal that car. If I get into a car and if I get into a car and it's got the CD player, I don't think I'd steal that one. I only want to steal a car that has a Bluetooth or.
So they can track you.
Yeah.
Smart. Steal the car with a CD player.
Yeah, but we are getting. It is strange because part of me is like, well, if I hear someone's driving a 1992, well, that's not that old. But yet, there's another part of me that goes, if you have a car that's older than 2009, that seems pretty old, In
the words of Fergie, you're 2000 late.
Thank you.
Well, 20 years is a classic, so 10 years is right in the middle. 10 years, it's too old to be new or cool. It's too new to be a classic. So it's right in that weird, it's 10 years old, it's in that weird area.
So would you drive a 2000?
Same thing with movies or music or any of that. Too new to be a classic, too old to be hip.
So could somebody drive a 2000 Cadillac? That's still fine, right?
I'm unemployed. People can drive whatever they want.
Right,
I don't know what I'm
yeah.
going to drive. I'm going to drive a damn wagon down the road. Who knows? Drive whatever you like.
But here's the best part about
All
being
good.
the best part about being unemployed is you never have to get gas. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you can go other places that work.
Yeah. I've been
Because
unemployed.
you're unemployed doesn't mean you can't go out.
I have been
spend
unemployed
money.
since April. I've only had to fill up my car twice.
Yeah, about 4 times for me.
I have not had to fill up my car. I've been unemployed since the end of April. I was, our first show was April 24th, so I was unemployed the Friday before that, so it would have been the 21st is when I was let go. I've only had to get, and I go work out every day. I've only had to get 2 fill-ups of gas because that's the only place I go. That's the best part about being unemployed is the amount.
Yeah, I used to drive 35 minutes to work, so that was, hour and 10 minutes, and that's with no traffic. And so I don't miss that.
Think about the mileage that you're saving in your car. Literally, yeah. I don't even think I put 100 miles on my car since getting unemployed. It's great. I'm just saying.
I can't. You know what? I can't take if I don't drive. If I don't drive, I lose my mind. If I just, it's great to not have miles, but I just can't be indoors all day and not go somewhere.
You're
Well, I
even
drive places.
I'll
but
drive.
It's not 35 minutes to Creve Coeur. It's
so Sean. Even if you're unemployed,
across the
even if you're unemployed, you still go places.
I find some way, somehow, somewhere to go, even if it's just a 15-mile drive.
No, dude, I stay home.
Yeah.
Like on the weekends, I stay home. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, you really get cooped up. If I had a little lady friend, I'd be all over the damn place.
By the way, in the chat room,
Load.
they're saying something about a plane crash. What?
If trying to find out about it.
Is that just happened?
Checking as we speak.
I had a dream about a friend of mine getting in a plane crash a couple months ago. And then there was a plane crash right after the dream. So I was convinced it was my friend that was in the plane crash.
And those things can be creepy.
Right? Now,
Yeah.
it turned out it wasn't him, but there was a plane crash right after. So I had a dream the other night that I had won the lottery. You guys ever had that dream? You have a dream where you're like,
You know what? I think I did have that. Well, yeah, it was. I bought like a minor league ball. You know what? I bought a minor league ball team and a radio station, and then some girl came up and she was like everything I wanted in a woman physically, and at first the rest, and it was just she just was there to scam me, and made all kinds of claims against me, and by the end of the dream I was living like in the worst rat infested trailer in town.
wait a minute, you had a dream. You had a dream you
It's
won
like
the
one of those
lottery.
movies where you wake up and it's life and it's still a dream, and then you wake up again, but it's still a dream, but it's real life, but it's still a dream. Yeah.
What I'm saying, you had a dream. You had a dream where you won the lottery, and it was still a shitty dream.
Yeah, because I bought a radio station. I was doing the morning show, and there was like a mobile vehicle with my face on it, making like radio kind of gestures. Hey, thumbs up with a cup of coffee. How you doing?
I'm telling you.
And I bought a minor league ball team. I built a minor league ballpark. And then some gal comes in, and then, oh, Sean, I think you're awesome. I liked you before you won the money. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And then all of a sudden the dream just shifts to a courtroom, and she makes up all this stuff as she goes along. Yes, he beat me, he raped me, he threatened.
So you had a dream.
If I had kids.
You had a dream. You won the lottery, and then you dreamt that a woman scammed you for all the money.
Everything was lies, and it was like, and then there was no divorce. Of course, I didn't know we were married. There was no divorce, so she got everything, and I went off to prison.
I got to be honest.
Winning the lottery ends in a rape charge. The dreams of Sean Valent.
I had a dream I won the lottery, and I told my wife, I'm like, we got to play the lottery. She goes, why? We never play lottery. I said, we got to play the lottery. She goes, why? I said, I dreamt I won the lottery. And she goes, how would your life be any different if you won the lottery? I said, well, and my wife goes, seriously, what would you do? And I went, well, I would do a show every day. What kind of show? I do the Morning Disaster. She said, you would do it every day. I said, yeah. She goes, how's that different from your life right now? She's right. If I won the lottery, I don't think I'd probably pay you guys. I would, here's the only difference. If I won the lottery, I would incorporate and write you guys a check. That's the only difference. I'm serious. In all seriousness, that's what I would do. I would do the same damn thing. My wife goes, would we get a new house? I go, maybe. She goes, really? Would you immediately buy a new house? And I go, well, God, no, I don't want to move. It's too much work. And she goes, exactly. She goes, your life, if you won the lottery, your life would not change. She goes, would you get a new car? I said, no, I might get a convertible before next summer. She go, yeah. My wife goes, she goes, I know you. Your life would not change that much if you won the lottery. And I'm like, I guess you're right.
You don't need to be winning no lottery then.
No, I'm serious.
Who knows how to spend that money.
But I mean, but if I would incorporate, and somehow I would do this show every day. Well, I would pay you guys, and then I would probably hire a salesperson to sell it, you know.
Because Stanley from KISS had a great quote that I always remember about people who say money can't buy happiness and that thing like that. He's like, money doesn't necessarily buy happiness. What money does is takes away the worry of not having money.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have, if you want to do like what we're doing, you don't have to worry about having that second job or that whatever for the money. The money's already there. Something happens to your house or whatever, you don't have to worry about it. Money's already there.
He's right.
That he was saying that's what money, it just takes away the worry of not having money. The rest is up to your, your imagination or what you want out of life or whatever.
This is exactly what I would do. I would do a show every morning with my friends where we laugh. So Sean Blinn probably wouldn't be on every show. Sorry, Sean. No, I'm just saying I would pay you guys. No, you can, Sean, you'd
have someone you'd pay someone to hook us all up and get us all set up with the video and audio. It was ready to go.
Yes, absolutely. You know what I would do? You know who I'd hire?
Have our own producer.
You know what I'd go? I'd get
through.
We were talking about him the other day. Our old engineer. The guy that was the original engineer of when we started the Morning Disaster. I would.
Yeah, we were talking about how he built that box for us that took out the vocals.
Yes. I would say, hey, what would it cost for you to put? I want a full studio in my house, not like I have 3 computers and a board and a microphone. I'm like, I would want to get all new equipment. I would pay someone like that to set it up. And then I would want every co-host to have computer, microphone, board, everything in their house too. And I would get, I would make sure that Nick could be just on cam the whole time. I would make sure, Rocky, I would make sure you would have everything you need. I would like to give Sean enough money to where he wouldn't have to have another job. And I'd like, to give Doran enough to, sit on cam the whole morning and hang out with us. And I would do that. I would give a little bit to, my friends, but then I would do the show every day. That's what I would do. And I would hire a sales staff to sell it so that there's enough money coming into where it just takes care of itself. That's what I would do. My wife's right. My life wouldn't change that much if I were to win the lottery. Except I wouldn't have to worry about getting another job. I would just do this until I got too old to tell dick jokes. That would, God know, which how old's Howard Stern? He's still telling dick jokes, right? How old is Stern? He's got to be 20 years older than me, or 10. At least 10.
He's
10 years
kind
old.
of high profile now, though, isn't he? Interviewing like.
But he's still telling dick jokes.
Okay, I thought he cleaned up his. I don't know.
I don't know. When I listen, I don't listen because I'm on the air at the same time. But when I do listen, I still hear a bunch of dick jokes. I would still tell dick jokes. And I wouldn't give any of my money to Hillbilly Joe because I like having Hillbilly Joe poor because he's more fun that way. But I would probably pay.
Oh, yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I don't want to change his life.
You got to keep people honest.
Yeah. I don't want to change his life unless I would pay him per appearance just to hear how he would blow the money.
Well, you do like a thing where, like with the car wash, where
Yeah.
you pay so much. Would you do this? Okay, well, for this much more, would you
That's
add this
brilliant.
to it?
Yes. I would pay him money for
You'd be
doing
like the
the shit.
bribe guy.
And then I would sit back and enjoy him telling me how he blew the money.
Right.
I gotta be honest. That would be part of the joy. That would be part of the joy with Sean too. Sean, I honestly think that part of the joy of winning the lottery would be giving you money and getting a kick out of the stories as to how you blew it.
Well, I can tell you, having won some money, the one thing I would do over, I would definitely, I think more than anything, I was scared to spend money on one thing, and I should have paid my car off.
Yes.
But if I won the lottery, number one, this would kill me. I bought a car right before I won money, about, cleared $22,000, and then all of a sudden, all these vehicle manufacturers have big rebates and everything, and it's like, ugh, I'm in a car I barely fit in, ugh. But I wouldn't be afraid to buy one thing, and but if I won the lottery, I would move, guaranteed.
You would move to where? A different state?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. I wouldn't want people asking for money, and I'd be gone.
Deactivate that social media account too.
I would stay in
absolutely.
Springfield. If I won the lottery, I would stay in Springfield. I mean, I got to be honest. I would probably get a summer house or a winter house down the street from Poolside Pat. He lives in St. Petersburg. That's a really nice area. I would probably get a winter house, but I would do this show. And I don't care if people come and ask me for money. I would just tell them no. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
people ask me for money all the time. I don't have any. I just tell them, I say, I don't have any. And
don't
if
know
I
what the
did,
hell's
I
going
wouldn't.
on. I had this deal where people thought I was a
That's
tax
not going to
dude.
work when everybody knows you just won the lottery.
Yeah, but people
That's the whole point.
people have
Everybody
always
knows. You can't say I don't have money.
people have always thought I have money, which, by the way, I don't have any. I had a little bit of money in the 90s, early 2000. There was a time I was making six figures, but I didn't give any of it away. I mean, I always sort of knew the bottom would drop out and I would eventually need it, I mean, there was a time I lived on comic books. After I resigned from QLZ, and then I was here, there was a time I lived on. I just would go every 2 weeks, and I would sell another Fantastic Four comic book on eBay to sort of pay my bills.
That's what I did to move.
Yeah.
A lot of the promotional stuff and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff went to eBay.
And sold stuff. So I have lived that life before, but I would have no problem winning the lottery and then just telling people no, because of course people are going to ask for money. So I would say no. I'm not going to give you. Sorry, no. Sean,
That's crazy.
You.
I don't know. One click is a lot easier than 200 no's.
Well, I mean, Sean has such a problem saying no. You would move.
I just get annoyed. I mean, there were like two people who just hammered me. Like, hey, do you have any money I could borrow? They're like,
just no.
Dude, I'm trying. Like, and you just like, how many times do I have to say,
oh,
no,
I know what
can't
I do.
help you.
I know what I do. I would hire someone. I would hire someone to finish dubbing all these fucking tapes I have. I have.
Well, unfortunately, you would still have to send them the tapes, which is where it always breaks down.
No.
You have somebody doing it for free. Why would you need to hire someone?
I'm saying
They just need the tapes.
they would need to come here and get the tapes, take them and dub them, and then come back and put them in my system. You know what I mean? So I would hire someone to do
Right.
that. Yeah, I probably would. So I would get a little money to someone. The rest I would just say no. I'm not afraid to say no. Sean is so afraid to say no, he would move. So it has to be
I think I make him say
non-confrontational.
it. It was like, oh
Hey,
my God.
if you won, would you give me some money, Sean?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
See, he's already, it's hypothetical, and he's already got people asking him for money.
He's already, and by the way, the answer is, oh, sure.
Sure.
It might be in your best interest to move. Yeah, you might want
That's what
to.
I'm saying. I would do the same thing. That's why I would just deactivate.
Maybe you're on to something.
It didn't take that much for him to say, yeah, sure, I'd give you some. Yeah, you're right. See, ask me. Hypothetically, if I won the lottery, if you ask me, I'd be honest with you. I'd say, you know, I would shoot straight. Like, for example, even my family, like, they might want something. I'd be like, nah, here's what I'm going to do. I would pay off. I have brothers. I would pay off. I would look at all their house. I said, give me your house bill. Give me your mortgage. Let me know how much you owe. I would say, I'm going to pay off and look at which house owes the most money. And I would pay that one off, and I'd say, okay, you guys, the other ones are getting the same amount. You know what I mean?
I just picture you behind some huge desk in a dark room with like Italian music playing. And, well, actually, here's what I'll do. Any conversation about money, you start off with, here's what I'll do.
Like I would buy my mom a duplex. But I'd say, yeah, here's a house. But the other side, we're going to rent out. And you're going to have to do all the maintenance work. And you'll have to do all the maintenance on the other side of the house.
Right.
So if they ever have a clogged drain, you're going to have to go over with a plunger.
Be a lot of cleaning involved. Yes, it is a whorehouse. That's none of your business. You're there to clean it.
If they take a big shit and clog the toilet, you're going over with a plunger. But hey, you don't have a house payment. Look at that. See? Like, I'm
going to give you this fake union card if anybody asks.
Yeah.
Just whip this out on them.
Like, would I buy new cars? Would I buy my mom a new car? No, but I'd give her mine if I bought one. I'd say, here, you drive the one I'm driving. It's a nice car. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it also depends on what kind of lottery winning we're talking about. Did you just win $50,000 or did you win $42 million?
Yeah, I'm talking the 42 million.
A lot too.
Talking the 42 million, the big one. You know, I'd want to get enough money to where I wouldn't have to work again. You know, the rest of my life, I'd just do this. But the good news is that I'm doing right now exactly what I would do if I won the lottery. The only difference is now, if I don't find a way to make it become an actual business, I'm going to have to go back and get a job, you know, at some point.
That's where the money, that's where the...
See, but like what Paul Stanley says is if I get lottery money coming in, I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
That's the true meaning of rich, where there's no worry. That actually is a pretty wise... That was a very wise...
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who are wealthy. If you know some wealthy people, that doesn't necessarily mean they're happy. They're always stressed out trying to make sure nobody gets their money, and they're making as much money as they can, and they want to have 16 million by the time they're this age. It just... So, I mean, yeah, if it just... The whole thing is just... It takes away the worry, and you're just doing the same...
Yeah, I'm pretty...
thing, basically, and
I mean, I'm
the same
pretty happy.
Person.
I'm happy. Even now. I mean, technically... I'm unemployed. There's a lot of stuff that I have that I should be unhappy about, but I'm not. I'm pretty happy. The fact that I'd be doing the same thing now, that I'd be doing the same thing if I won the lottery that I'm doing now, I think shows a lot about, you know, how good my life is right now. At least that's the point I'm trying to make, you know. I'd rather cut off a pinky toe than go back to do talk radio again.
Oh, it went all the way back around to toes when we started. So that's where I came in.
I'm just saying that, you know. So the only difference would be I might buy a winter house down near Poolside Pat. But for the most part, my life would be the same. Now, I'm sure my wife has other things that she would want to do with the money, but if I want,
one thing, if you have a lot of money too, what you can do is if you want to do something like this, you can podcast, and then you could just buy your visibility and have people promote it for you, and the next thing you know, you've increased your audience by 2,000%. And it was basically just, it wasn't like you bought fans, you just bought exposure.
Yeah.
That let
but
people
the fans
know
are true.
There. So that money's good for that too, if you want a big audience.
The fans are real. Yeah, that's what I would want. Yeah. Like if I won the lottery, I would buy a lot. It's a good idea, as I would buy a lot more exposure. You know. Could you imagine Springfield radio actually hitting me up, wanting to know if I would want to buy ads?
Well, that's still the good thing about radio, is that it's so easy to access and it reaches so many people, but then you have all of the negatives.
Yeah.
But yeah, the exposure, if you have the money and you could buy that, then you're set.
By the way, here's a radio question for you, Rocky. I saw an article this weekend talking, you know, that Liberty Media, which owns Sirius XM, they just bought a shitload of shares from iHeart. I think they own iHeartMedia now. The article that I read this weekend was that there's a push to get the FCC to lighten up the FCC rules that went into effect in 2004. Which, by the way, that's what, in essence, killed the morning disaster.
Killed a lot of things.
Yeah, it killed.
And all because of a visual thing that happened on TV.
Yeah.
We've got to punish radio.
They decided they were going to punish any kind of rock morning shows that, you know, dared to have fun.
It was because it all started with the Janet Jackson Super Bowl because of something visual.
Yeah.
They punished radio. That was their punishment. It's like, I've never seen titties on the radio. So how is this radio's fault? Why are suddenly we've got to crack down?
Somehow radio was the one that took the hit.
Right.
So
I remember even hard rock stations that had been uncensored had to start censoring all the songs, and
it happened.
Couldn't even have bullshit with Pink Floyd Money, had to have that censored. And
the thing happened in January or February of 2004, right, or whenever it happened, but it didn't hit until 2005 is when all the repercussions went down, and it changed radio literally right before I was a free agent. And so
I thought it was earlier than that. I thought it was more like 2002.
I think it was 2004 was the Super Bowl, but they changed the FCC. They changed the rules right around the beginning of 2005. That's when they decided they could, you know, the finding stations would be easier. So, and it's when every rock station decided, oh, I need to get away from doing that type of presentation, which basically killed the morning disaster. And look, we mentioned him earlier, Howard Stern. That's when he went to satellite, because it took all that stuff away. And I know for me, it took away all my job offers and stuff. I mean, it was, you know, it was hard.
And everybody wanted to play it really, really safe. Nobody wanted to be the one, because I remember the horror stories going around that, you know, the fines are coming down, you know, X station here, X station over here. They've both been fined tens of thousands of dollars for
and all these companies
playing some song or something that they'd already played for 30 years.
Companies got afraid. Okay, so the article I read this weekend, and I'll send it to you if I could find it. I'll send you a link. It was about how they're trying to get they're trying to loosen up, and they feel that if Biden wins the election, but I don't know how the hell that equates, but somehow that they will be able to get it passed, that they'll be able to get.
I don't think it matters. I don't think that's a Democrat Republican thing.
It's a congressional. It would take a congressional thing to get an administration to loosen up the FCC rules.
Follow the money. I mean, it's the usual.
And
if somebody's going to make a profit, then sure, let it pass.
And this Liberty, this company that's just bought iHeartRadio, they have the money for the lobbying that it would take. But the whole thing is to get radio to loosen up and to make FM radio to have R-rated radio stations.
Makes sense, because I mean, the audiences are all going to like YouTube and podcasts and streaming and a little bit of satellite, not too much, but mostly streaming, podcasts, and things like completely uncensored. How else would you compete?
But it killed.
I wanted to do a podcast, and there was no way to do that because the one that I wanted to do. But if they have all these restrictions relieved, then
the whole thing
it's all fair game.
Is that radio has got to be, since the only type of radio that's been sustainable is talk radio, which has all been pro-conservative talk. Those are the only stations that make any money. And so there's a push that they're going to try to do this to where they try to get the FM stations to loosen up and allow an almost R-rated type of radio. So
makes sense.
As much as right now, as I say that I would rather cut off an appendage rather than go back to working in radio again, if they somehow loosened the restrictions, or if they loosened the rules for the time, if we could do this show on an FM, what I'm saying is I would do it if the rules were different, But if I won the lottery, I'd just do it online. So I thought it was an interesting article, but more so the article's take was this. What if the owners of Sirius were doing this so they could put somebody like Stern back on regular radio?
Anything like that.
And put him back on.
There's probably some popular podcasts, some popular personalities on things like that. Yeah. There's no way they would give that up to be on a censored format.
If you could put them on stations all over the country, where would the money? There would be definitely money. So it's a way that radio could be saved, because if not, then they might as well, and the article says this too, then they might as well sell the FM radio back to the government, or give it back to the government so they can use it for a 911 band or something.
I want to say it was Switzerland.
That's what they did
it like 7 or 8 years ago.
And the United States could fall through because radio itself has a, and that in essence would kill paid radio. I mean, who would want to pay for Sirius XM radio or something if you could get the same exact programming on free radio? But it would make the advertising rates be worth it. To where if you
and that's another thing.
If you're the
advertisers care anymore? That was always the big thing. Is you can't do uncensored or whatever because advertisers. But I see advertisers all over podcasts and YouTube and it's just the most hard rated content, and then all of a sudden the Downy commercial.
I'm telling you, I have dealt with advertisers in selling this show. And I have not had one, and I haven't gone to a lot, but the ones I have talked to, there has not been one advertiser that says, no, we don't want to advertise on it because you guys are too adult or too dirty. No, it's all COVID. All the advertisers care about is COVID. They're like, well, we've had some stressful, March and April, really bad. We're trying to catch up. As soon as we get some money, sure, we'll come out. You know what I mean?
That's how you do it. You advertise and let people know that you're back open.
But I'm saying
okay,
that
whatever.
that has been the only objection I've gotten. I've gotten no one that said, "Oh, you guys, the show's too dirty." No one has said it. Hasn't even been a concern, which used to be a concern. It's not now. We're past that. So I mean, they might be onto something. That regular radio.
Speaking of being past things, you know, it's 10:21.
Oh shit. Okay. You see, this is what's been going on lately. Like literally, I don't even know what time it is because I just get caught up in whatever. We should probably wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for listening today, and invite you guys to come back tomorrow. We'll be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning with another edition of Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. Thank you so much for listening today, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So long.
You better wake up, sleepyhead, and get your fat butt out of bed. There's a man who got up at 4 a.m. just to play you Zeppelin and Pearl Jam. Raymond Lytle is his name. Some have called him just a bit insane. But you may find him a little idiotic. But his is the only morning show you can say has really got it. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. With Central Illinois' morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster. Sean Boleyn Scott, herpes sores, Bodine's running down North Grand in his undershorts. Michelle will dwell on things colored pink and purple. They'll explain why Jim made a remake of that movie called The Black Hole. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. The Central Illinois morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's Morning Disaster.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening to today's show, everybody. That's it for Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.